Live service may well be a curse word among some enthusiast circles, but Chinese titan HoYoverse has the model on lock. The company's cringy corporate motto exclaims, "Tech otakus saved the world." In truth, it just wants to take over the world. Indeed, with the introduction of Zenless Zone Zero, its current cadence will see it cycle through one major update for each of its flagship games every 2 weeks. If you already find most of your playing time monopolised by Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, then this all-new urban fantasy RPG will practically incarcerate your PS5 and throw away the key. Hello there everyone, it's Aaron here from Push Square with Sammy Barker's review of Zenless Zone Zero. You play as a proxy named Phaeton, who's an acclaimed problem solver in the challenge setting of New Eridu City. The developer's penchant for proper nouns means there's an abundance of gobbledygook to sift through here, but effectively daily life has been disrupted by the existence of the Hollows, strange otherworldly portals which transform their occupants into ethereals, or in simpler terms, angry, aggressive monsters. Working remotely using a souped up supercomputer, you're able to infiltrate these gateways and complete commissions, effectively odd jobs or quests, to use tired gaming terminology. The gameplay is perhaps the most stylish of all HoYoverse's efforts yet, and feels like an evolved version of one of the studio's older titles, Honkai Impact 3rd. However, considering many of you will be unfamiliar with that game, it works a little like a Devil May Cry styled character action affair, where quick transitions between agents buff you in a variety of different ways. Much like with Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, the moment-to-moment gameplay is relatively basic, but it's the unique possibilities made possible through pairing different combinations that elevate it beyond its core. Now that's not to say that this is a simplistic button masher, it is not. Characters handle differently and have unique advantages and disadvantages. Lucy, for example, is a baseball bat-wielding motorcycle gang member who hits home runs onto the battlefield in order to burn enemies. Ellen Jo, meanwhile, the inaugural S-rank banner character, is capable of freezing foes and triggering shatter damage. The sheer complexity of the systems can get headache-inducing when you're reading through all of the various status effects, but casuals will find a fervent drip feed of dopamine from simply watching all of the big numbers fly off their targets. HoYoverse has quite clearly learned a lot from Honkai Star Rail, and so you'll find the streamlined suite of material gathering compared to the aging Genshin Impact here. But you do still need a PhD in free to play to really come to grips with this. It has a bounty of currency resources, skill checks and time gates await, all filtered through a seemingly never-ending list of gameplay challenges and grinds. For the familiar, this is certainly a slicker offering than the Traveller's Toll in Teyvat, but the path to the perfect build is still undeniably obstructed through all sorts of irritations. Nevertheless, the game feels like a prestige package to interact with. The animations, sprightly throughout, are absolutely sublime, and while the game loves the sound of its own voice far too much, the writing is laugh-out-loud funny at points. This is an off-the-wall experience, fully embracing of even the strangest sequences in Honkai Star Rail, and thus it feels totally reasonable to clash with a sentient construction tool that's fallen in love with an abandoned building. The release is unflinchingly confident in its own sense of style, and while it won't appeal to everyone, it certainly tickled Sammy's pleasure receptors. The same is true of the art style, which is just phenomenal if you can tolerate the current glut of anime-inspired content. New Eridu City itself harkens back to the early 2000s era of Sega skies, blue like the ocean and bursting with colour and character. Some of the agents may turn stomachs, flip-flopping from buxom babes with heaving cleavages to ear-splitting lollies in short shorts. But HoYoverse artists are at their most creative yet here, introducing a friendly-faced bear with boisterous bling and a butler who just so happens to be a wolf. Outside of the core combat, there's an arcade you can visit to play an extremely entertaining adaptation of Mr. Driller, as well as a light business management segment which sees you running your own VHS rental store. And we'd be remiss to not mention the television hopping navigation aspect, which is so off the wall it's almost impossible to explain. Effectively, during quests, you'll find yourself traversing through different television screens, completing rudimentary puzzles like pushing switches and more. The developer gets really creative with this concept, even introducing a sequence which resembles Bomberman, although it has said that it's working on more traditional exploration gameplay too, and there are hints of that in the launch version. And that perhaps is a key jumping off point, because if Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail have taught us anything, it's that what we're playing today is merely the start. Zenless Zone Zero will be updated every 6 weeks with new characters, quests, locations, minigames, events and more. While we can only review what's in front of us here, it's important to underline that this is a game designed to grow and evolve, much like its cast of misfit characters. We'd also be doing a disservice if we didn't discuss monetization, which is sure to prove divisive. This is a gacha game, and so yes, there are microtransactions available, allowing you to use real-world money to buy in-game currency, which can then be spent on draws of time-limited characters. While the system has more structure than true ambiguity, there's an aspect of gambling involved, as outside of the 180 pull guarantee, you're never quite sure who or what you're going to get. It is important to note though that you can play the entire game for free, and if you invest wisely and save up the resources you earn through gameplay, it is possible to unlock the agents you want at no cost. Zenless Zone Zero has the swagger of a game that knows it's going to be a big success, and judging by its 50 million downloads at the time of this review going live, that confidence is not misplaced. In some ways, this is a strange beast. Artistically, it's all over the place, pulling from a litany of different sources and somehow stringing them all together into a cohesive, compelling whole. But at its heart, it's a character action game with a massive emphasis on team building, and it's a bloody good one at that. We're giving Zenless Zone Zero an 8 out of 10. Thank you everyone for checking out Sammy's review of Zenless Zone Zero. Let me know down in the comments below how you're getting on with the game now that it's out in the wild. And while you're down there, remember to leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it, and if you loved it, why not subscribe to us here at Push Square, where we post all sorts of PlayStation video content. Anyway, I appreciate you as always, and until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.